favorite student. Hi, Justin here. Today's Friday, and it's my first official Friday being back in school. Well, last Friday was my first Friday, but this one feels more official since it's the first full week being back doing student teaching. It's been a good week. I have some footage that I'm going to show of random stuff that I've done this week. A couple sour days, but more good than bad, so that's always good. Sometimes you have mediocre days, and today was one of those days. There are contributing factors to the reason why today was so blah, but I'm not going to mention those for the sake of identity and for the sake of my school site. But you know, you got to learn to push through those factors, and we'll do that next time. The good thing about teaching a class is you always have a next time to regroup and evaluate things you did the last time and get it back together. Let's see, this week was pretty busy. We had academic vocabulary that they had to do. We had back to school night, classroom rules. That's a big one. That's what I'm going to talk about today. And yeah, I'm officially teaching now in both of my master teachers' classrooms. If you're wondering, Justin, how come I don't have a second master teacher? Why do you have two? Sometimes that's how it works. Sometimes you're assigned one, sometimes you're assigned two, sometimes you're assigned 5. No, I'm just kidding. I think that would be horrible. So, I'm going to talk about classroom rules. Hold on. This is my little notebook. Speaking of, make sure you always have a little notepad while you're student teaching, because you do observe a lot, and it's very handy to take notes. Where are my classroom rules? Here we are. Okay, so I'm not going to tell you what to come up with, obviously, because your classroom is your classroom. Now remember, your master teacher might not allow you to come up with your own rules, okay? My master teacher basically threw me in with the lions and said, do everything, which I appreciate. There's a certain kind of relationship there, and he's got my back, so don't think my master teacher is just, God, he sucks for just pushing you in like that. Don't worry about it. Okay, so classroom rules. If your master teacher did tell you to come up with your own rules, these are the categories that I came up with. And if you feel like I'm missing something important, or you feel like something should be changed, tell me in the comments, and I'll provide some input. Okay, so these are the things that I covered. If you want to come up with your own list and write some of these down, be my guest. Food, drink, and gum. What's your policy on that? How are your tests written? How do you deal with notes? Note-taking. How are you going to do extra credit? Your rules for the bathroom. Tardies. How are you going to deal with tardies? How are you going to deal with absences? How are you going to deal with late work? How are you going to deal with talking in the classroom? Me personally, I am fine with a little bit of talking if it's like an individual, semi-easy kind of activity. You know, I'm cool with the talking, but maybe you're not. How are you going to deal with responding when you ask the students a question? Are you going to only have people raise their hand? Are you going to have it super casual and have them just shout answers at you? Or are you going to have cards that you pick from? How are you going to do it? How are you going to handle discipline? How are you going to handle trash? What are you going to do if they finish work early in class? What are their options? How do you deal with classwork, homework? This is one that I didn't come up with, but I wanted to add, because my master teacher brought it up, and I was like, that's a good one. Penmanship. You forget that sometimes your kids write horribly and you can't read it. So my policy is, if I can't read it, I'm going to give it back to you, and I'm not going to accept it until I can read it. So that's a good one. That's important. Seating. How are you going to do seating? Are you going to have a seating chart? Other things Like there's a couch in my classroom, obviously they can't sit on it. There's a recycling bin, so I encourage them to use that. This one you can make your own twist on. Words that you don't want to hear in class. Mine, these are my personal ones. Shut up. Okay, they're not allowed to say shut up to each other or me or just in general. I don't want to hear you're stupid, because no one's stupid. Some of them might be a little bit weird, but not stupid. And gay, that's gay. You know, obvious reasons why I don't allow that. It's a derogatory term. That'd be like me allowing the N-word or a racial slur or something like that. Oh, feet. I have them clean their feet because the school site I'm at is very dusty and dirty right now. So yeah. So there you go. There you have it. Those are all of the important classroom rules or procedures or topics that I think you should have some kind of structure around. Yeah. Okay, so here's some footage of my week, my first week at Central West Campus. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you next time. See ya. 6:30 a.m. and it's 80 degrees outside. It's lovely.
Please don't wait forever. Please don't throw it all away. I'm watching these blue skies turn to gray, and all these friendships fade away.
Hi, Mike.
Don't take a picture of me.